My name is Dustin Daniels, and I am a staff member at the Florida State University London Study Center. So intramural sports are a classification of athletics at the university that basically allows students the opportunity to compete in athletics in a sort of less significant way versus, for instance, varsity level sports, which is the level of sports that you typically find synonymous with scholarship level athletes. This is a way for students to generally participate in a particular sport, but do so in a way that just doesn't interfere with their studies and also just allows them to do it for fun, more or less. I think that there's probably one of the reasons is just because a lot of students come from an athletic background. I think a majority of the secondary school students who come to university have played some kind of sport, either for fun or during their studies. And so obviously maybe they weren't able to be recruited, or they didn't have an interest of going to a university to play that sport, but they still have that interest in athletics. And so intramural sports kind of offers that sort of informal opportunity for students to still compete for that passion, competing against other college level students at different universities, but doing so again in a less significant way, or a way that would interfere with their studies. So I think that generally, I think the two biggest things that intramural sports offers to international students would be the opportunity to experience American culture in terms of sports, allowing them to maybe pursue sports that they've never played or had the opportunity to experience before, maybe that they know a little bit about, but for instance like American football that they've never really actually participated in. And the other side of it, I think, is usually intramural sports are flexible to the point where students and with their friends can also start a sports club. And so it's for international students who, for instance, don't see a particular sport that they're used to playing in their home country offered at the university, they can start that sport themselves. Things like cricket, rugby are just a few examples of some of the sports that international students have started at my university. So I think that obviously academics is extremely important, but I think that so are interpersonal skills. I think just as important as how you do in the classroom is the relationships that you build with your classmates, and also the sort of network that you can then plug into once you're an alumni of the university that can help you pursue different professional opportunities. And I think that especially with the competition and the rivalries that intramural sports usually perpetuate, it's a great opportunity for students to build those types of relationships and really make their experience really memorable. I think that they should definitely understand the time commitment. Obviously, intramural sports is not as significant a time commitment as varsity level sports, or if they were playing for scholarship, but it is obviously a competitive sport, and so there are team practices. There's different levels of competition that they can pursue, and so obviously they need to make sure that they can meet that commitment while not allowing it to interfere with their studies. But also I think that just making sure that they have fun, obviously making sure that it's not a chore, that they're just sort of doing it even though they don't have an interest. I think intramural sports is most fun when it's a group of students who are really trying to enrich their academic or their university experience rather than sort of just sticking to one facet of the university.